Well, it's a good thing I made a couple of save states in this stage, isn't it? Man alive. I've got to say, the time we've spent here with Sonic 2 has definitely been an educational experience, and one that I'm glad that I went and made, but, man, this game has not aged the best, has it? This original version. I'm not going to speak necessarily for, like, some of the remade versions of the game. I think, like, it's a little bit of a different story. You know, a lot of modern variances, but there's lots of little things in this game that just aren't great, are they? You know, the whole Sonic power thing is mandatory. You can't not do it. Even these little platform things here. So this works as long as I'm not touching the controller. You jump across naturally. But, you know, you think with this, naturally speaking, this platform, you'd want to be pushing around to get more speed. Well, if you do, it just does that. Like, you lose all that speed immediately. It's absolutely wild, isn't it? So, yeah, it's just... It is what it is. Anyways, with that all aside, we are going to get to the stage, and we're going to attempt to defeat Robotnik and all his evil things. So, I did do a little bit of exploring with the time I had between videos, actually. And I actually found there's an interesting little secret, which I didn't know anything about, which we see another little power thing there. But yeah, there's an actual little secret of something that I didn't know existed, and we are going to, I'm going to show off because I think it's actually pretty cool. Let's go ahead and get over here. I suppose we can get for some extra rings. We'll take what rings we can. Again, we want to make sure we don't hit the 50. I could use my supersonic powers, like, to just crush the end boss fight, but I'm not going to do it. So, yeah, once you get to this stage here, there is this power thing that swings you across. However... you can actually go the other direction, and there's something very cool down here. Come on down here. And you got this crane. Well, let's take it. You're like, well, what the hell do I do? Well, if you jump to the right, there's this little underneath section, and you get to here, you can't move anymore. There's an extra life box there. I didn't know that. I was just exploring around. I was like, cool. But now you're like, well, hold on a second. Okay, I've done that. Now what do I do? How do I get out of here? Like, what is the solution? Well, have no fear. Jump out the side, and you get, like, swung back. For reasons I'm unable to precisely determine, I'm going to put it down to the giant turbines that are powering this thing, and you can make your way back there. It's a thing. It's about the best I got for you, folks. It's a thing. Alright, then. But yeah, it's, again, this won't be so much of an issue when we get to the, dealing with, whatever else. So again, we need to make sure, like, I could just literally run here and, like, 50 rings, like, you can just power this, and, like, at this point, we're completely indestructible, and you just murder it. You can also reach it as well, you jump higher, and you can actually hit it through the power zone. You can see how you can just actually crush that. It is... the power of Supersonic is, when you're ready and off to the races, is pretty strong. That was an interesting glitch. I don't know if you're actually meant to come back here. That's interesting. Anyways. So Robotnik flees. We'll chase him down. I mean, we go legitimately faster than he does, but, whatever. But... have no fear, Tails repaired our plane, and the pursuit begins of the evil Robotnik. As the music returns... by the way, we're still on a timer. You can still get timed out at this point, by the way. Just a warning. And we crazily hold on to Robotnik's frickin' rocket ship, which cannot be considered reasonable under health and safety standards, as we go into space. No, I don't know how he's alive. And that brings us to the Death Egg Zone. So this is the final section of the game, where the final boss rush happens, because there are multiple bosses being played. Literally, we advance, we get started, but Death Egg Zone's got this really cool, snazzy tune I just want to let you listen to for a moment, because I actually think it's a pretty cool theme. I'm sorry, Sonic, it's fine. I know. But you just, like, most people just go forward and you don't ever hear this tune. It's neat. So, we've got 2 bosses to beat, and we have no rings for any of them. And first up is Mecha Sonic. One of the most memorable parts of this entire game is Metal Sonic here. Very, very cool. Tough to beat as well. Very, very tough. Couple of different kinds of attacks here. Robotnik watching on. And yes, sometimes he jumps up just to screw you. He does that. Alright, let's try again. So what you want to try and do is... Huh! That is not what I was expecting to happen there. Hold on, I'm sorry, I have to save state here. What the hell happened there? What the... That was bizarre. My normal way I would do it for, like, the MA is broken for whatever reason. I'm trying not to save state, but, like, I'm at a point now I'm just kind of experimenting with these games and exploring. That was bizarre. So he's invincible there. Yeah! You do that, you don't bounce off. You just like roll through him and then you get hit by the spikes and you die. That is fascinating. I thought you bounced off him when he went with this fight. I guess. Again, the last time I played Sonic 2 was like the later re-release that came out in like whenever it was, like 2013 or something. It's been a while. So now he's gonna do the that attack there. So I guess what you gotta do is like spin dash him. That is not what I intended to do. Is when he's like charging at you, not in the rotating attack. Oh, they're moving little spike things. Scumbag. Yeah, that's your best bet to hit him when he does that. And, like, if you can hit him outside of that, great, I suppose. But, yeah. It's also pretty tough, essentially, considering that you've got to win, like, it's 2 boss fights in a row. And there is no break in between either. It's, yeah, it's a big ask. And again, knowing that there's no continues. Like, you get to this far, fighting these bosses, and that's it, you run it, and that's it. It's game over. Just dead on the spot. There's no save feature in the Genesis. It doesn't exist. Okay, so he is boppable when you do that. So yeah, you just want to get this fight basically done as soon as humanly possible, basically. Yeah, definitely. Tough fight. So, give him an extra little bump on the noggin here. Oh, that was close! Robotnik's like, how are you winning, Sonic? I do like the fact that Robotnik, like, his animation changes there with what's going on. I think it's a nice touch. And he is defeated. Okay. The boss theme continues because we are not done. There he is! Get back here, you! And that brings us to the final boss. Yeah, look at this little thing that Robotnik's got. Pretty wild, right? Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Fun boss fight, this, though. Tough, however. But it's got a variety of different kind of attacks that he'll launch at you. It's a bit awkward. So what we gotta do is... don't hit the flames. Or you can actually bypass that. Yes, I'm wrong. Alright then, let's put Robotnik out of business once and for all, shall we? So yeah, while this can be a very attritional fight, it also kind of comes down a bit to how greedy you want to be, and like how good your time can be. I don't know how I didn't die there, truthfully. Should have been hit by that. If you can get some hits in, like, in the midst of this stage as well, you can do some good stuff. You know, it does take a lot of beating. You just gotta give yourself as much of a chance as you basically can, pretty much. Try not to get too carried away. And hit whatever you can. If you can get some speed as well when you make the jump, that definitely helps deal with, like, getting caught by the spikes, potentially. Oh, no. I'm not so confident with jumping down the left side here. When he stands like that, though, you can definitely hit pretty safely. But I feel a lot more confident, like, jumping left to right. There we go. That's bad. I got him. There we go, we got him. All right. And the Death Egg Zone spontaneously combusts for reasons I cannot answer. And Robotnik, assumingly, is incinerated in the explosion. And he's never seen from again. I mean, that's how that story went. The Death Egg explodes. The peeps are scared. Tails is like, come on, we got ourselves a Hedgehog to save. Because if Sonic dies, then I'm out of a job. And you know what, Tails is probably right. You ain't relying on Knuckles. You ever heard of Knuckles and Tails? They're in the same ring. But, courtesy of the power of the Emeralds, Super Sonic kicks in. And the day is saved. And Tails like, oh, you don't even need my plane? Sonic's like, no. I'm fucking Sonic the Hedgehog. I got superpowers. I feel bad for Mars. I've got a funny story to tell about Mars, actually, when we get into Sonic 3. I'll get into that in the next game. So Mars like, alright, fuck you. And the day is saved. We get our now traditional music medley, which I always do appreciate. I think it's really, really cool. And yeah, that was Sonic 2. I'm a little sorry at the end that things got a touch sort of save statey. Was not how I intended to do it. But, I mean, it's save state or I play for the entire game again. I got a lot of shit to do, you know. But, alas. But yeah, as I say, I will not criticize, like, playing Sonic 2, and I have done on sort of the modern, like, remaster collections and stuff like that, changes a lot of things under the hood, and, like, things like the auto Sonic thing, where I think you've got to, like, actually, like, jump and then press A again in midair, I think, to activate stuff like that. Definitely, like, is a lot better, and I think there is continues in that as well. But yeah, Sonic 2 on the 16-bit was brutal, man. I would say the hardest of the 3 games. Definitely the hardest, especially if you want to get the good ending. By far the hardest of the 3 games. Not even close. But there's still a lot to enjoy, and you can definitely see how, like, the advancements of Sonic 1 and Sonic 2. This is like when Sonic became sort of really Sonic-y. The first game was kind of set in the stone, but it was still kind of largely on that platform sort of business. And in those kind of, you know, following the footsteps of what come before. Sonic 2 is what sets the series to be what it was going to become. And it would be in the next game in Sonic 3 where I think it really, really grew into its own element. And Sonic 3 is a fantastic, fantastic game. And I'm really looking forward to cracking into that. It'd be interesting to see what my memory tells me. It's been a little while since I last touched upon it. Yeah, plenty of stories, plenty of tales, some infamous sections of Sonic 3, which we'll talk about when we get there. But also, it's just generally a pretty fun game. Lots of chances to do a lot of stuff on the side, gain a lot of lives, and just explore the game. And if you know your way about, there are also lots of secrets to be found. Usually involving the several power-ups that got around. They changed the shield system, so it's not just the generic one. You now have, like, elemental shields, which have different abilities, which are really cool. We'll talk more about those when we get there. And they all have their own uses. Super, super awesome. But regardless, folks, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Been a pleasure. Even if the game at the end kind of got a little bit brutal. That's how it goes. Thank you all for watching. Take care of yourselves. We will see you in Sonic 3 and Knuckles.